What is up, YouTube? It is good to be back after a few years of being kind of AFK for a little bit. Just chiming in to talk about some crazy stuff that's been happening over in the self-hosted world. And for you guys who don't know what I'm talking about exactly, so for people that might not be too computer inclined or technology inclined, us nerds, we like to self host our own applications. So think about, like, for instance, instead of using Netflix to watch TV shows or using Google to search, we're using somebody else's service. We actually like to host things in-house in our own local network, just for finer grain of control and just kind of peace of mind that we own our media and that whatever we're doing is all within our kind of control here. It's really just about being a control freak, really. Let's be honest, guys. So there's a lot of really, really awesome self-hosted applications, from password managers to search engines to media aggregation tools. You guys know what I'm talking about, for all getting all your Linux ISOs, of course. Um, and there's kind of been a lot of drama in the scene recently. A lot of this stuff comes from Reddit. Now, I try not to visit Reddit because sometimes a lot of the drama is unwarranted and it's just noise. So I don't often go on this platform, but I just happen to be on here and reading about some crazy stuff. So this person on the self-hosted subreddit Economy Meet 9506, awesome name, decided that he would kind of do a public service announcement, if you will, about this piece of software that you can self-host called Booklore. Now, Booklore, if you go to Google it right now, you're not going to get very much information, because you click it and you kind of get like this little bit of the snippet here and his website, and you click it and the website's down. So this person kind of pointed out that said, hey, before you deploy Booklore, there are some glaring issues about it. Booklore is like this application you would use to kind of collect, aggregate, and read through all your different, ebooks. So like your electronic books, comics, stuff like that. You would throw it in there, a file on your server, a special folder that's being watched by this application, and then it'll populate on a web page all your different ebooks, and you can click and read them. You can remote in from your mobile devices to your home network and read all your books, stuff like that. Um, this person on Reddit decided to kind of point out a lot of big red flags that's going on with the project. So, as he states here, there's been some speculation for a while that Booklore is mostly AI generated. The dev denied it. And then when version 2 landed, it had a lot of issues. And kind of like this person says, nobody actually understands the code base they're shipping. So, he's accusing the developer of basically just pushing out code at kind of like this really rapid pace and just breaking things. And then the when you look at the code and it's kind of like, why is this like this? So he pointed out that the developer is merging 20,000 line PRs almost daily. PRs being pull requests. So in open source software, particularly Git, people can make suggestions to improve the code. They say, hey, do this instead of this, and then they put that in what's called a PR, a pull request. So this person, this supposedly the developer, is merging pull requests that have 20,000 lines of code almost daily. Uh, that's a lot. That's a lot of, like, for a developer, one developer to pull in that many lines of code almost daily is kind of crazy. And there's been some accusations that a lot of this stuff, um, is AI generated and not genuine person created. You're crazy. We got to say that now, guys. Times we're living in where you got to specify if something's person or AI. Um, and then what was really crazy is the developer was talking about switching licenses, which is uh, I think illegal. I think illegal at this point. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so don't take my advice. I think the GNU Foundation would have to back us up here. But typically, it is AGPL, which is an open source GPL license. And the developer's talking about switching it to some other kind of license, business source license. Never even heard of that. Um, and then he's stripping code from contributors that have put in, and it's just there's just a lot of crazy, really insane, just kind of like drama going on here. And I wanted to get sort of the response from the developer because you got to see both sides of the coin. So I go to click on it and it's deleted. So the developer took down the website, took down his own response on Reddit, and took down the GitHub. So you can't even really view the source code anymore. Now, of course, open source software is this beautiful thing where people fork it. So I'm sure if you go on here and you type Booklore, you'll find tons of people that have forked it and are probably, hopefully, somebody will kind of take it and give it some love and fix some of the glaring issues that are there, supposedly with the code. Um, but it's just crazy. The developer seems to have gone nuclear. Um, they didn't really agree with the community, and as an open source developer, unless you're Linus Torvalds, you really got to sometimes take things on the chin and understand that it's about the code, it's about making the software better, and you have to sort of respond in a very professional way, or not, and just go nuclear and delete everything. I mean, that's also an option. But it's just crazy now, guys. You got to do your due diligence now, and read the source code for these applications that you're running if they are open source. Because guess what? We just had this. We just had this like 24 days ago. Not barely even a month has passed, and not even. You know what I mean? And we just had this with Huntar, which was another self-hosted application, and Huntar had its own problems where it had really big security red flags, and this person pointed out, this other redditor pointed out that he was suspicious that the project that Huntar was vibe coded, another project, and sure enough, he made this post about it where he talked about just a lot of like really crazy flaws in the source code and things that just aren't working right, and just it's like they're just not being implemented right. Like it's just things that are being generated, just fed into a slop generator and just spat out. Um, and Huntar again was deleted, and I don't know if it was brought back or not. I don't know if Huntar is even still up on GitHub. So someone forked it because obviously the original project got taken down with Huntar. Um, but yeah, just crazy, man. I mean, the nice thing about open source software is, thank goodness, open source software exists, because at least you can look at it, you can see how the developer interacts with the community, you can fork it if there are things you don't like, you can read the source code, it can be improved, and if the developer doesn't want to kind of move in the right direction the community wants to go in, he can surrender it, and then the community can fix it from there. And we've seen that time and again with open source projects, that they reach EOL, end of life, and then somebody kind of carries the torch. Um, and it's just scary to think that AI is such a prevalent issue in software engineering now, and software coding, that you can just type in a prompt and just, oh yeah, that looks good, click and paste, put it in the program, and you think it works, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're pushing this stuff out, and pushing out potentially very unsafe code. A lot of this stuff is meant to be ran in the home network. It's not meant to be exposed you wouldn't really want to expose these, definitely not Hunter or Booklore at this point. We know that now. You wouldn't want to expose these to the open internet where people outside of your home network can access it. But just imagine if, God forbid, there's some kind of security hole where somebody gets into your local network. There's some kind of exploit through like router, modems, firewalls. Just kind of an example. If you're running this software, even just locally, this could turn into a very big attack surface. So we're running in that era. We're living in that era where you really got to do your due diligence, unfortunately, and you really got to look at these open source projects, see how the developers responding to pull requests, seeing how he's responding to criticism from the community, and really be safe with what you put on your machine. But thank goodness for open source software. Richard Stallman, he might be on to something. And I know I'm crazy saying he's right, but Richard Stallman from the GNU may be wise in saying that open source software is essential, because imagine proprietary software that's this, right? Imagine you're using this software, but it's proprietary. You can't see the source code. You don't know what it's doing with your information. There is no real feedback that you can give. And it's kind of crazy to think that you look at how these big companies are pushing more and more AI. In some cases, lawyers' offices think they can replace lawyers with AI, and how many, small little startups think they can just use AI to code everything. And it's just leading to, we're seeing it nowadays more than ever, where cyber attacks are huge and on the rise. People are getting just really sensitive information stolen. And whenever you run proprietary software, you really just have to hope that they're being, careful with your information. They're toying with your information. They have it all, and you just got to hope that the boat doesn't get a hole in it and then leaks all your information out, so to speak. And that's why it's so crucial and important for open source software. Here I am using Windows, and it's just like, I got every now and again I get AI popping up on my lower right asking me to do things, and if I need help with stuff. And it's just like more now than ever, your information is being pried on and being spied on. And let's just hope that all these back-end softwares can actually keep your information private. And just you got to run open source software everywhere you can. I run Linux on my laptops and my servers and everything like that. It's just my gaming rig that I decided to record a video on real quick. But yeah, anything that you value that has your information on it, you really got to make sure you're using open source, legit projects that are, actually care about your data and actually care about contributing back to the community. So yeah, that's just the video for today. I just wanted to go over these things. It's kind of a crazy drama that's happening over in the our self-hosted subreddit. I have a feeling that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I really have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of Titanic ships smash into this iceberg of people left and right calling out these AI generated projects. And I think that more now than ever, you as a consumer, as a user, as a self-hoster, as whoever you are, have to be careful with the information that you provide. You have to make sure that your information is being handled properly. There's just so many ways for attack vectors nowadays. Everything's smart, except when it's not, and it gets exposed to the open net, and then they just take all your information. So be careful out there, folks. Be safe. I'm glad to be back on YouTube. I kind of been gearing up for return here. It's been a few years since I uploaded a video, but I got a couple different interesting subjects I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about my TrueNAS setup that I personally run and some of the applications that I use every day. I'm going to start auditing those first before I talk to you guys about them and make sure they're all safe. I'm no expert. I'm not much of a coder, but there are certain projects that I'm going to look at and try to see before I, of course, recommend anything or talk about anything on this channel that I've done my thorough research here. But just, stay safe out there, guys. Thank you to Economy Meat 9506 and EXE Cutter, however you're supposed to say that name right there. Um, you know, thank you guys for kind of doing your due diligence here and kind of bringing very important subjects to the forefront of this subreddit, because there's a lot of people are self-hosted that are not super technically inclined, and they're just getting started with this stuff and they're just installing things. They're not really thinking about too deeply about how the software works. So it's very important that this stuff gets brought to the forefront and we call out these situations so that way we can all learn together. So that's going to be it for me, guys. It's good to be back, and stay safe out there. Protect your information at all costs, however you can, and get ready to look at some more videos with me. Thank you.